Hello everyone, as you can see it's snowing again here in Indiana. Hopefully we'll just get a couple of inches and it'll be done for the rest of the year. Real quick, I'm going to switch to the computer so I can show you the order form, but just in case you don't want to watch the rest of the video, I would recommend or suggest that you go to your local county soil and water conservation office, because they might be doing a tree and plant sale like mine. So they're selling everything from elderberries to Douglas fir to all sorts of different pollinator flowers, and the prices are amazingly cheap. So if I were to order it from a regular nursery, we're talking about $20 bushes. They're selling for $3. You can get bundles of 2 to 3 year old like pine trees you can get a bundle of 10 at like $2.50 each or $3 each. But I'll show you the electronic actual order form on the computer here, but just in case, I would give them a call or stop by and ask, because I know our ordering date, we have to get our orders in by the end of February. So I'm doing this video, and then on Tuesday I'll probably be running over there with a check or cash and my money order. So alright, yeah, just stay tuned. I'll hook up to the computer and show you. Alright everybody, we're back. Here you can see, you should see my happy little face at the bottom right of your screen, but this is the order form for our plant sale. As you can see here on the top, there's eastern white pine, there's Norway spruce, those are the evergreen trees, and then they have 4 different types for deciduous trees, including the tulip tree, the sugar maple, northern red oak. What I'm really interested in, I might get some of those tulip trees and some of the spruce, but what I'm really interested in is these American elderberries and these service berries. And I'm also going to be ordering some of these plants, but what I want to show you, which is really nice, is they do give you a description of each one along with the scientific name of it, so you can look it up and not just depend on their description here. The pictures are pretty nice, and hopefully your county is doing the same thing. I would guess that they are. But yeah, you can see here the black chokeberry, the American elderberry, it's the Sambucus canadensis. And then the 9-bark, I'll probably get a couple of those because those are supposed to be pretty interesting. But it just goes to show that, I'll go back to this order form so you can see the sizes, or the prices I should say. So you can get a bundle of 10 of these eastern white pine for $3 a piece. Let me look at it's $10 for 30. I wish this thing would just highlight whatever I'm looking at. And then back down here, so the evergreen trees are all $3, but you gotta buy them in a bundle of 10. The deciduous are $3 a piece. You just buy them individually, and that's the same for everything else here. Now they do have the plants down here, all separated into 3 different categories: shade loving, customer favorites, and native grasses. I'm not going to be buying any native grasses, at least right now. But what's really cool about these is you can get a plat, what they call a plat, or a flat, of 32 plants, and they're $3 each. So for a couple $100, $300, you can theoretically set up the basics for a food forest, which is pretty amazing. So some of these evergreens, stuff like that, will be great shade for for some of my fruit trees, because we always get like a false spring, so it'll get really warm heading into March, and then middle of March and through April, and then right around the end of April, maybe the first week of May at the very, very latest, there'll be a cold snap. And that's what happens to a lot of my neighbors around here, is they'll have a whole bunch of fruit trees but no shade. So what happens is the tree responds to the increased sunlight and the increased heat, and it starts to bud, and it wants to flower, and then the cold happens and basically kills the buds and the flowers. So it'll start to pollinate, but they won't be able to get through their natural process because they've basically done it too soon. And that's really, really important. I have a neighbor that lives 3 houses down, and that happens to him like every year. So he tries to put bags on all of his trees and his bushes when he thinks that cold snap's going to happen. Like the weatherman says, the cold snap's happening, and he usually doesn't make any difference anyways because the cold itself is just too severe for it. And the natural, like the what I think is the more natural and I guess the smarter way is if he had more shade. So if he had his stuff not on the south side but on like the even the west side, it would be better. Well, I should say the east side. If he had it more on the east side, maybe the northeast side of his house, where his house could shade those fruit trees, then they would slow down that whole budding and fruiting process. So they wouldn't even actually start until after the cold snap. I hope that makes sense. But when I go to plant all these things, when it's nicer out, I'll show everybody where I'm going to be planting a lot of mine. I have two areas that are suitable that do get shade for that first part of the year, before everything rotates and the sun come at a different angle, and that's where I'm going to be planting a lot of my pawpaws. The fruit trees that I planted last year and that I'll plant this year, I'm not too worried about because I already have some of these deciduous trees and some other trees that are growing up that eventually will be able to provide some sort of shade for them. Um, anyways, I hope that you guys, this was new for you and you didn't know anything about these planting tree sales, and that you guys go over and maybe give them a call and see what they have because it's a great deal. You put in the money, I guess you can send them a check or whatever, but they tell you what day to pick up, and you just basically make that day or those 2 days free and get to planting. So, all right, well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye bye.